Hello. This is a short video clip discussing the issue of weight. In fact, why weight at all? And what I mean by that is why focus on weight? You might have noticed, obviously, that throughout the Western English-speaking world, there are countless magazines and articles in daily newspapers that talk about losing weight. I would imagine that an English-speaking woman must be presented with articles and information from various different media about the idea of losing weight. Losing weight, you've got to lose weight, you must lose weight, have you lost weight? To the extent that it must almost be overwhelming. What's not necessarily thought about, of course, is this phrase, losing weight. You see, a lot of people have the experience that they're not a body shape or size that they desire. And then they desire to be a different shape or body size, so they attempt to lose weight. And sometimes they're successful, other times they're successful, but only for a very short time. So they end up kind of concertinaing, right? And if they're concertinaing, they say they're unsuccessful, although they are successful, but for short periods. Anyway, there's something about the language of all this which I thought you might find helpful. I've talked to a number of people over the years about this, and it does seem to be the case. We have to go back a little bit to understand what I mean by the neurological implications of the language of losing weight. Imagine, if you will, that you're a cave person, a Neolithic or even pre-Neolithic cave person, looking out onto the plains and quite happy because you can see a herd of wildebeest and there's a herd of zebra, and there's plenty of food, you know. But if the herd of wildebeest go off over the horizon, you get a slight unnervy feeling because half of your dinner has just run away. And if the zebra disappear over the horizon on a big migration as well, then you've either got to up sticks and follow them, or you're going to have a hard time because a famine's about to strike. Now, we weren't, or our ancestors weren't in a position, or a socio-economic position, where they could store energy in boxes and tins. The only place that we could store energy was on ourselves, on our bodies. So we have this, a million-year-old years of evolution, biological evolution in our DNA, saying that whenever there's a famine, store fat, and then when the famine subsides, burn the fat off again. And in that way, we can possibly protect ourselves through a time of lean resources, or perhaps during a particularly cold winter. So there's like an equation, if you like. It's a very simple equation. Because if the wildebeest or the zebra return over the hill, then we can relax and feel good about things again, and we're back in the land of plenty. So we have this natural kind of equation, which is that gain equals life and loss equals death. So we're kind of emotionally wired and conditioned, as it were, to respond to the loss of things that we value as if something's trying to kill us. You can test this in a very easy way. The next time you're in an office having a conversation, say the word redundancy just slightly louder than the rest of the chat in the conversation. Redundancy. And you'll find that people's heart rates and breathing speeds will speed up like ripples on a pond. They go, bah, 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 bah. What do you, oh, redundancy, blah, blah, blah. They'll hear these things. Straight away, as soon as they hear redundancy, they're going to they have to face the loss, the potential loss of something that they value, which is their job. Their job isn't maybe the best thing in their life, but it gives them wages, and the wages gives them food and shelter, and it forms the social cohesion of their family. And if all of that went, they could be homeless on the street and on their own. Terrible. So, but other people find that if they're forced to be made redundant, suddenly these are the doors of liberty, and they go, yeah, now I can do what I've always really wanted to. So some people fare psychologically, they fare very well in times of redundancy. Other people, not so well. And it's those that are inclined to want to maintain the status quo, possibly because they're experiencing something that they value, and they like certainty and security. The only thing, of course, we can guarantee is that everything will change, which means that if you're orientated towards needing certainty and stability, there are going to be some problems whenever seasons change for you. So, for some people, when they encounter the loss of something they value, they react very powerfully indeed. You can try this by perhaps going up to someone who's smoking outside a building and snatching a cigarette out of their hand and going, ha ha ha, in your best pantomime, nasty voice, and you get a strong reaction. You can do this if there's a kiddie in a pushchair with his favourite toy. Snatch the teddy out of the pram and go, ha ha ha, and you'll get a strong reaction. So whenever human beings are going to lose something they value, their system responds by trying to mount every campaign possible to make sure that the loss is going to be avoided. Now, just imagine, as a metaphor, that your unconscious does everything it can to protect you, to help you, you see. Obviously, we don't like the idea of people having AIDS, and we're very happy that we have a biological immune system, an attack system. So if a cold virus comes into your nose, all the antibodies go and chase after it, and they attack the flu virus, and the result of that is the flu and runny nose as we discharge the virus from our system. So what we call flu, the symptoms of flu, are actually the result of an immunity system working very well, right? So it's good for us to defend and protect ourselves. Psychologically, our unconscious does this by closing our eye if dust, is going to be blown into it. It gets us to move our head just out of the way of the cricket ball as it whizzes over, this sort of thing. And also, it does its best to make sure that our desires are fulfilled. So if you say to yourself or to someone else, oh yes, I want to lose weight, your brain goes, he's trying to get us to lose something. That means he's trying to kill us. Oh God, he's trying to kill us again. So what will happen is that a person will just go to the fridge and they'll just unconsciously pick up, the chocolate bar and find they're halfway through the crisp. Oh, I didn't even realise I was doing it. Oh, well, I've started now, so I'll just carry on. Right? So one way of being able to get your unconscious to cooperate with your desire to change your body shape is, instead of talking about loss and what you're going to lose, talk about what you're going to get, what you're going to gain. Remember that gain is life affirming, right? So talk about, I burnt off 4 kilos this week, or I'm working towards this new shape. This is the body shape I desire, So rather than say, yeah, I want to lose weight, say, yeah, I'm getting healthier. I'm changing my shape. I'm becoming leaner, more toned. This is my ideal target, and that's what I'm going towards. Talk about what you're going to get, what you're going to gain, the benefits that you're going to get out of it, right? And you'll find that just in the way that you talk to other people and the way you talk to yourself as well about this will begin to kind of change the feeling. There'll be a sense of excitement about doing it. Instead of it being a chore and really hard work and focusing, oh God, I'm going to lose my chocolate. Say no, right? Do I want chocolate, or do I want to be that kind of shape and live that kind of life? If, people find me more attractive, or the doors open for me, or I'm more inclined to be, chosen out of a crowd, or whatever. Because in life, it does seem to be the case that it's not necessarily that slim people are more attractive, but it's that happier people seem to be more attractive. So if you accept yourself, and if you're comfortable within your own skin, then you'll find that people pick up on that. It's not to do with the size, it's to do with whether or not your heart is smiling, right? And so by telling yourself what you're going to get from life and how things are going to be better and how things are going to improve, I'm going to do these steps to get me over to there. Brilliant. Then you just find there's an exuberance, an enthusiasm, a twinkle in your eye. And that's what people find attractive. Now, sometimes you might find that you're surrounded by people who speak about loss. And then what do you do then? Just join in? So I find, for example, every time someone says, oh, you've lost a bit of weight, to me, instead of agreeing, because if I agree, then I'm agreeing about I've lost something. And of course, what happens if you lose something, the first thing your system wants to do is find it again. So I never agree that I've lost weight. I just rephrase it and say, I've burnt off a couple of kilos. So if they are, you've lost some weight, I've burnt off 2 pounds. Brilliant, well done. So I'm not joining in the discussion on loss. I've changed the topic of conversation to how much I've burnt off. Because burning off something is an activity that you do. Loss is like a negation. It's an absence of something. Whereas if you're burning off fat, that's an activity. right? So, and it leads towards some kind of goal or target that you can then become enthusiastic about, and then your system will like you for it. So describe how things are going to be by what you're going to get, and then you'll find that your system will more readily cooperate. You know, you don't have to think about weight anymore. Just think about your future self. One thing you can do, for example, is to sit somewhere quietly, maybe close your eyes because it might be easier, and just imagine yourself like a future version of you. Just see some kind of invisible screen, projection screen out in front of yourself, and imagine you can see the ideal you. Not the you that you are, but the you that you want to be. And then just imagine you can float up from out of where you are and float into the future you. And imagine how it would feel if you let your feet settle into that person's feet. How would they feel? How would the world seem? Would it be clear? Would it be fuzzy? Would it be bright and full of colour? How would the world look generally? Not what's actually there, but the sense of it. Kind of ask yourself, what do I say to myself about who I am, about being me here? And doing that will encourage your neurology to want to take whatever steps are necessary in order for you to literally walk into being that person. And you'll find that you don't have to wait anymore. You can do it now. So, yes, I hope this has been helpful. And if you want to ask any more questions, just in case there isn't a link or something with this, you can write to me at info@davidrowan.co.uk, or look at my website and you'll find contact details there, and that's www.davidrowan.co.uk. Enjoy your future. Thank you very much for your time.